What's up, everybody? Andre Khatchaturian of Armenian Sports News, joined alongside with my co-host Jason Takhtadjian for the first ever Armenian Sports News podcast. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Jason, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm trying to stay warm. It just snowed here in Sioux City, Iowa. That's where I currently am at, middle of the country. But, trying to stay warm. But I'm glad to be here with you and here to do the first official Armenian Sports News podcast with you.
Glad to have you aboard. This is History, Armenian Sports News podcast, first episode. I just want to, for anyone new to Armenian Sports News, I just want to give a quick synopsis about Armenian Sports News. It was started in 2021. I am the founder, Andre Khatchaturian, and I first started as a passion project, trying to give Armenian athletes and national teams a light to be shined on. Not a lot of people, there isn't really a outlet to find out about Armenian sports news. So I said, okay, this is a void. I want to fill it. So I started the page on Instagram, and it has since grown to a level where I needed help. And I asked Jason to help me, and now we're trying to take the next step and establish a podcast and, see where it goes, because there's a lot of great athletes out there of Armenian nationality, Armenian descent, who I think they deserve to get more attention, and this is our way of doing that. And, Jason, you're obviously an established journalist of yourself. You're a reporter out in Iowa, and, you have a background in sports as well. And me, I worked 7 years in New England Sports Network before leaving and starting my own video production company, and also starting Armenian Sports News as well. So here we are now, first ever episode. And Jason, how it's going to work out is we're going to discuss, we're going to do this twice a month. And each episode, we're going to start off by discussing the biggest headlines of the week of Armenian sports and kind of just give some commentary and reaction and things of that nature. And then afterwards, we're going to head into our special guest. And this week, our special guest will be Andre Spight of the Armenian national basketball team, who just finished up playing in the first two games of the 2027 FIBA World Cup pre-qualifiers. So we'll talk to him about his experience playing there and see what that was all about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. I'm excited to get this thing going, and we know that those two games were a big talking point, and that's going to be our first talking point of the podcast is those FIBA pre-qualifiers. Obviously, Armenia didn't get the result that they wanted in the first match against Austria, 91-106 against their favor. But the second game, 84-79 in favor of Armenia, the first FIBA win, and it happened in Armenia. We'll talk about, just what a great game that was. But overall, just some of the obstacles that Armenia had to overcome in order to get that victory, but also, what kind of led to the loss against Austria.
Yeah, Armenia was missing some size presence up front. And because of that, they, especially in that first game, they were heavily dominated on the glass against Austria. And I feel like they kind of got tired out. They only used 6 players basically the entire game. They're 5 starters and 1 guy off the bench. They didn't really have a rotation. Towards the end of the game, you can sense that they were getting tired and chucking up threes, heaving threes, trying to close in the gap. But it didn't really work out for them. And the rebounding problems continued in the second game too. But fortunately, they were able to clean things up and get the W against Albania.
Absolutely. I mean, that first game, the loss against Austria, Armenia had 5 fewer offensive rebounds than Austria, but in their win against Albania, they had 10 fewer offensive rebounds. They still found a way to win that match, and I do think that playmaking and shot creation. I mean, Andre Spight, 31 points in that game, that second game against Albania for that W was huge. The fact that the team collectively had more assists but fewer points compared to their loss was also a big talking point. I mean, 18 assists compared to 16 is not that big a deal, but that is when you're talking about 84 points scored compared to 91. So Armenia had it clicking. They had things working for themselves. I mean, even that loss was a bit of a tight loss. The score doesn't do it justice. Armenia had the lead in the first quarter, 29-23, and tried to claw themselves back into the game after being outscored by 12 points in the second quarter. So there are a lot of positives to take away, but also, like we said, the rebounding situation, it's a big issue, especially moving forward. But, missing guys, missing size, that might be able to help that problem moving forward for Armenia's upcoming games.
Yeah, so Armenia now is 1-1 in the pre-qualifiers. They need to finish in the top 2 to have a chance to qualify for the second stage of the pre-qualifiers. And think about it, the FIBA World Cup is in 2027. We're in 2024 just started, so this whole process is going to take years, at least a year, to see where Armenia goes. The next game won't be until November. It'll be a home match against Austria, and that'll be very pivotal to see if they are going to take that next step, if they're going to win the group. Obviously, until then, they have a couple of friendly matches, tune-up matches, one of them against Ireland in Los Angeles. So, they have some chances to keep working together. We'll talk to Andre about that, about what that's going to be like from now until then. But overall, you just look at the team, and I personally have noticed it just looks like a well-oiled machine now. It looks like a professional operation. Whereas, 6-7 years ago when they were competing in these games, people didn't even know that they were playing in these games. And now you have these, they have a good social media team. They have a good marketing team, and the players are so involved and playing games in Los Angeles or abroad where there's Armenian community, and it just seems like an organized operation. It has a bright future. And that win against Albania, I think, was that first big step. It's like, hey, we're here to stay, and we're only going to improve from here on out.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the future is very, very exciting to think about. Like you alluded to, we're still in the infancy of FIBA World Cup qualifying. We're still in the pre-qualifiers. There's still so many games up ahead, but they're just so spaced out. So it's an exciting time to be an Armenian basketball fan and follow Absolutely. This team, just seeing where they were and what's happening now.
Absolutely. And you look at maybe it's not this cycle, but maybe it's the Eurobasket cycle or a future Olympics. I think Armenia is going to get to that level eventually. You have young kids in Armenia who are watching this take place. Maybe they're going to start playing. You have young kids in America watching this. They're going to start playing. They're going to get better. They're going to say, wow, this is real. Armenia is on the map now. And, it's going to be exciting to see how that develops. And, we'll have to wait till November until the next game that counts. But there's a lot to be happy about for these first 2 games, especially since they had some stars missing. They had some size missing. Connor Esigian, obviously, he didn't play. He was playing with Wisconsin. And, Rex Kalamian, he's their head coach. He wasn't even coaching because he had duties with the Milwaukee Bucks. So, team was shorthanded. It's great that they got a win. It's great they were competitive against Austria. And I'm excited to see obviously, they won the Small Countries Championship in 2022. But that's something they had already done before. They did it in 2016, but then they had the financial constraints. You had to suspend operations in 2019. But now this feels different. It feels like there's a future, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Feels like there's more structure.
Absolutely. And now, Jason, let's pivot now to some other headlines to head over to the world of tennis.
Yeah, that's right. Khachanov winning his 6th career title. He did it in the Middle East at the Qatar Open, not dropping a single set, doing it all in straight sets, and did it against an 18-year-old opponent from the Czech Republic. He is really proven to be one of the best in the world. He's now a number 15 ranked men's tennis player, and 2024 is just starting off, but now the sights are set on seeing if he's going to win a Grand Slam. Really? Yeah.
So just a quick recap of what happened in the Qatar Open in Doha. Khachanov, like you said, didn't lose a single set and won the championship against an inexperienced opponent, Jakub Benčík of the Czech Republic. But hey, 18 years old, it's not Garen's fault. He didn't choose his opponent. That's who he had to face, and he did his job. He took care of the job, and he was a champion. And then he followed that up at the Dubai Open, won his first match. Looks like may have tired out, played all last week. And a lot of those matches, even though he won in straight sets, they were longer matches. And he ended up losing in the round of 16 to Yuri Lehechka, who's a name. He's established. It's not the biggest upset in the world, but it's good for Khachanov to get a trophy to start 2024. And I think that this is a big time for Garin Khachanov because to win a Grand Slam, because Federer era, the Nadal era, those are basically over. And then you have Djokovic's dominance, but he's getting older. And then now you have Carlos Alcaraz coming in, but he's still pretty young. I know he's won a couple Grand Slams, but I don't think he's ready. He's in that stage where he's going to dominate every Grand Slam yet. Eventually, he probably will. But we're in that weird window right now where Djokovic is getting up there in age. Alcaraz is still a pup. And we saw it in the Australian Open. Yannick Sinner of Italy, he won the Australian Open, and he was the guy who beat Khachanov too. So if there's you're going to take away something from that, is hey, at least he lost to the winner. But I think this is his time. This is his window, Khachanov's window, this year or next year to win a Grand Slam, given where Djokovic is at in his career and where Alcaraz is in his career, because those are the two biggest names in the sport. And in tennis, there really isn't much parity, like in the women's side, except with the exception of Serena Williams, who just dominated the sport for years. But in the women's side, you see different types of winners every Grand Slam tournament. In the men's side, you saw the sport be dominated by like a handful of guys for maybe 20 years. And before the Alcaraz era kicks in, hopefully Khachanov can catch a Grand Slam.
I see what you did there. I mean, yeah, he's 27. He's entering his prime. If not, he's already in his prime. So this is, key time for him. There's a reason why they say tennis is one of the most difficult sports in the world. And if Khachanov can do that, and it looks like he has the capability to do that, it's going to be huge.
Yeah. And, it's funny. You say he's number 15, which is great accomplishment. But that's all that means is that assuming everybody was playing, he would lose in the round of 16, whatever, he's done that before many times. So hopefully he can get his ranking up higher and get his day in the light, because this is the time to do it. And just one more quick thing, that trophy he won in Qatar. What did you call? What did you say it was, the Falcon Trophy?
Yeah, the Golden Falcon Trophy. I mean, Khachanov even talked about it in the post-match interview when he won it, saying that my son was sending me a message that he really wants this Falcon back home. I mean, it's got the attention of his son, and it's one of the most interesting and pretty glamorous trophies, I guess you could say, but just by looks, not by weight and what it actually means.
It's literally a golden falcon, and if you get a chance, go take a look at that. It's an awesome piece of art. Anyway, Jason, let's keep moving forward. What else headlines do we have for us? Let's kind of round it up with some of the headlines that are going on. Just kind of shoot fire to it. I mean, Artur Davtyan continuing to prove that he's one of the best Armenian gymnastics, if not one of the best gymnastic athletes just in the world. He is just on a tear when it comes to the 2024 FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Cup Series. It's a 4-part series that just wrapped up the first two, one in Cairo, one in Cottbus, Germany. And Davtyan walked away from both events with gold around his neck. That now means that he's gotten a gold medal in 12 of his last 14 events. He's already gotten qualification to the Paris Olympics, the Summer Olympics this summer. But he is just continuing to flex his muscles and get these medals. I mean, the vault competition in Cottbus, he scored like over 15. It was 15.050, which that's a sensational score. It's something you can't really beat. So he just continues to show why he is one of the best athletes Armenia has. And Jason, the timing is just perfect for him right now. You think about it, the Paris Olympics are just around the corner. He's already a 2-time European champion. He's a world champion from 2022. So, he's winning all these World Cup events, these Challenge Cup events. It's the timing couldn't be better. We've seen Armenian gymnasts succeed in the past, in the distant past, when Armenia was part of the Soviet Union. But we haven't seen an Armenian gymnast succeed at this level with Armenia as an independent nation. And Artur Davtyan is that guy right now. He is winning these major tournaments, and he's not just winning, he's dominating. So with Paris just around the corner, could this be the time we see an Armenian gymnast wear gold around their neck in the Olympics? Hopefully so. But there's still some other World Cup events. The next one coming up is actually in Baku, Azerbaijan. Obviously, every Armenian knows about Azerbaijan and Artsakh and Armenia and the hostility. And last year, he was not able to participate in the Baku event, and he wasn't able to participate in 2022 as well. And basically Armenians aren't allowed in Azerbaijan. We've seen this happen with other big name athletes. Jason, you probably know more about that than I do.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest names that comes to mind when it comes to Armenian athletes trying to compete in Azerbaijan or having no choice but to compete in Azerbaijan because that's where the competition is being hosted is Henrik Mkhitaryan. Whenever he was playing for Arsenal and had a matchup against Chelsea in the Europa League final, because of safety concerns, simply because of who he is and where he was born, he ended up not going, and there was real threats to his safety. This remains true for pretty much every single Armenian athlete that goes to Azerbaijan or is supposed to go to Azerbaijan and then ends up not going because of, simply put, Armenophobia.
Yeah, and we're not a political network. We're talking sports, and there's other venues and channels to learn more about that. But the fact that we're in 2024 and we have a guy who's an Olympic gold medal favorite not being able to participate in a country during a major tournament because of his ethnicity is just wild to me, and it needs to be talked about more. And it's a shame that it isn't talked about at all. And
Yeah.
Do you have other Armenian athletes who can benefit from participating in this tournament in Baku to maybe make the Olympics, and they won't be able to?
Yeah, Davtyan's already, gotten his Olympic berth. He's already qualified for Paris, but the rest of the Armenian gymnastics team are still trying to vie for spots in Paris, and that would be important for them to compete. For example, Vahak Davtyan, he earned a silver and bronze medal in Cairo and Cottbus, respectively.
Let's keep moving forward. We have our interview with Andre Spight, leader of the Armenian national basketball team. He's got tons to talk about his experience in Austria and Yerevan, and now he's joining us from Argentina. Andre Khatchaturian of Armenian Sports News, along with Jason Takhtadjian of Armenian Sports News. Today, our first ever Armenian Sports News podcast guest is, he doesn't need any introduction, but we will introduce him anyway. Andre Spight Makirtichyan. He has been traveling all over the world. Where in Argentina are you right now, Andre?
I'm in the place to be, Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, great. You're obviously playing professionally there, but last week you led Armenia to its first 2027 FIBA World Cup qualifier, pre-qualifier victory against Albania. So you're in Yerevan, and before that you were in Austria when Armenia took on Austria. So obviously it's been a whirlwind week for you. You've been in Europe, you've been in Armenia, and now you're in South America. How are you feeling right now?
I literally just got done with practice about an hour ago. Got my legs up under me, so I feel good. Yesterday was kind of rough. As soon as I landed from Germany, I came straight to the gym and saw my team practice and, worked with the physios and everything. So I'm getting back in the swing of things. We got a game on Friday, so trying to get ready for that, man.
So basically you're saying I have no excuse to skip the gym today, and like
sometimes skipping the gym, you might pay for it the next day. So you might as well just keep it going, I got all summer to rest a little bit, I guess.
So Andre, let's talk about those games, those pre-qualifiers for you. You guys play Austria first, Albania second, obviously in Armenia. Let's first talk about that Austria game. Obviously, not the result you guys wanted. 91-106 was the final score. What would you say was the big takeaway from that game collectively as a team? What was maybe one thing you guys were zeroing in that you guys wanted to address for that Albania game?
Pretty much that, like, at the end of the game, it was a 5-point game at the end. the score might say what it is, but I got a technical at the end. We got a few mishaps at the end, and you know how the game goes at the end. We start fouling, but it was a 5-point game with I forgot how many minutes left to go, maybe like 5 minutes left or something like that. But pretty much just locking in on the next game. We didn't really talk about it too much. We just flushed it and got moving to the next game. It was not really time to dwell on that, and I'm not really someone to make excuses, but man, you know, we are missing a lot of guys. We're missing our 2 centers, Davi. We're missing Arkady. So those are 2 big keys for us that right there that we're missing. And it was kind of tough, you know. It was pretty tough without our bigs and without our core group together. But at the end of the day, like, you just got to play with whoever we have out there. So
yeah, it seemed like rebounding, especially the offensive rebounds, were a big deal for the team to deal with. But still, that second game you guys overcame.
No, definitely. And I'm looking forward to playing Austria in Armenia. It's going to be a different game. The refs won't be speaking German. The refs won't be speaking German to the Austrian players. I mean, it was unbelievable. The referees were unbelievable in that game. Like, I've never seen a 20 free throw swing like that in my life. Never. Like, as bad as the refs are in this Argentina league, that was crazy.
So what do you think of, you talked about missing those bigs. I also noticed that just in your rotation, you guys basically played your 5 starters and 1 guy off the bench. Was there any exhaustion towards the end of that game? I kind of noticed you guys were just settling for threes in the fourth quarter, just dribbling up the ball. Maybe you guys were down. You were trying to shorten the deficit, obviously, but was there kind of a little bit of fatigue set in at that point as well?
Yeah, definitely, man. There was a lot of fatigue going on, especially with me and Chris. We're getting picked up full court, and I was picking up full court during that game, and you know, it was tough. It was definitely tough. When I got fouled and I was on the ground, and everyone thought I hurt my knee. I was kind of just giving myself a little break. You know, like that's a veteran move right there. You kind of lay down, just give yourself a little break. But I didn't know if the physio runs onto the court and checks on you, you can't shoot those free throws. So I was pissed, like, oh wait, why am I checking out I have to check out the game because the physio checked on me. So it was just, yeah, man, it was a roller coaster of emotions right there. And, you know, that's where the frustration came in, the technicals came in. We just complained about every call, and you can't play basketball that way. So we got to forget about the referees, and we kind of did a better job of that in Albania, I think. So yeah, it was definitely some exhaustion going on in that game.
And I mean, you know, the level of emotions changing from the Austria game to the Albania game, rebounding still, a big deficit in that game, but you guys still come out with the victory. I mean, tell me about what were the keys. Was it the turnovers, limiting turnovers? Was it getting people more involved? It seemed like the assist numbers and the playmaking, also the level increased from the Austria game to the Albania game.
Yeah, I think we kind of zeroed in on, okay, if we're not swinging the ball to Dre on this side, then we're swinging the ball to Chris on this side. And we're going to have these 2 guys make the decision every time instead of kind of taking quick shots. So we just got to get the ball to our ball handlers and have us make the decision. In the Austria game, there was a lot of open shots for all of us, but it was too quick. Some of them were too quick of shots. I took a lot of quick shots. We just played a much better game. We was more relaxed. We was in our hometown. We got to sleep in our own country. I got to see my family. It was just a calmer ease at playing in Armenia. So, I mean, it's difficult. I don't know if you looked at the World Cup games, but every team has lost at home. I mean, every team has lost on the road. Every single
it's a difficult
team is winning
competition.
At home. Yeah, I mean, every single team, even in the America Cup games over here in South America, Chile just beat Argentina for the first time in like 70 years.
Wow.
And that was at home. So it's very difficult to win on the road in anybody's house.
With that said, after that Austria game, you guys kind of had you mentioned it was a single-digit game. You guys kept it close. You guys were winning in the first quarter.
Right.
What takeaways, positive takeaways do you get from that? And then between the 2 games, what do you usually do? Do you kind of sit and watch film, or do you try to rest, or do you try to get away from everything, or what was that process like for you?
For me, I'm very, very hard on myself and my team, and there is no positives for a loss. I've never taken a positive away from a loss. Like I've never been the type to been like, oh yeah, I could take this away from a loss. Like, no, I beat myself down. I beat my team down for it. Whether it's the right or wrong thing to do, that's just my personality. Like I would never say, okay, we could take this away from that game. No, we lost, and there is no good in that loss. I don't see one good thing. Maybe the first two to 3 minutes were good, but other than that, there is no good in that. And kind of what I did was I had a lot of interviews set up in Armenia from the federation to our own media, and I just turned down every single interview. And I said, I'm not doing any interviews until we win the next game. I'm not going out. I'm not gonna have a beer. I'm not gonna, I'm not really gonna celebrate like that. We're in Armenia, and it's a once in a lifetime thing to be out there. But at the end of the day, we had to lock in and win these games. So I kind of zeroed in and just kind of cut everything out. Didn't really answer my phone. People were texting me, Dre, you need to do this, you need to do that. I just kind of blocked everything out. And that's why I came out in that Albania game and I just went full throttle, like just going to the basket. Didn't settle in that game until maybe the third quarter.
And you said it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, playing in Armenia in your home country. We kind of saw a lot of Armenians in Austria. What was that like? Just getting that
amazing. Amazing. There were so many Armenians that came out, and it killed me. It killed me to lose that game. Like after the game, I took a picture with one family and I left. And I don't usually do that. I was pissed. I went downstairs and once I shower, I flush it. Like I beat myself up, and once I shower, it's over. Like I try to forget about it once I shower. That's my motto. But I just went right to the showers after that. Took one picture with the family, and then I left. And the team was calling me, Dre, come up. I just stayed down in the locker room sulking, honestly. And yeah, hey, Armenians are sore losers. I know you guys know that. Did you guys see me knock the ball out of the ref's hands at the end of towards the end of the game? That's how I got my tee. So Armenians are sore losers. Me, Zare, all of us, we were sore losers that game. I mean, for sure.
At least you're honest about it.
I don't know how to handle a loss, really. I don't. I'll say anything. The ball was wet, whatever.
That's really neat. I mean, the fan turnout, obviously in Austria, was something to behold, but obviously coming back to Armenia, and you've alluded to it multiple times, it's just unlike anything else, especially with the fans and the crowd and just the way that they reacted at the final buzzer, and you dunking after the final buzzer as well. Just tell me about, what that was like for you to, put your head down and be focused and then see it pay out and pay off with that win.
That meant everything to me. Honestly, that meant everything to me and our team and our country. That meant everything. Because we haven't seen us even participate in a game at this type of caliber, let alone to win. So that was just amazing and just such a fun experience. I can't believe that Armenia is on the map for FIBA basketball now. And I forgot the second part to your question.
I mean, just what it means to, see your focus just pay out. I mean, again, seeing the crowd and cheering and you staying and taking photos with everybody in the arena. I mean, just what that all is like and what that means to you.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I mean, there's no better feeling than winning for your country. And I told the lady who interviewed me the day before the game, I did interviews the day before the game. I didn't do any interviews the day of. So the day before, she said, what's your mentality coming into this game? I said, I don't remember the last time I've lost a game in Armenia in front of these fans. Pan Armenias, we went 8-0 or whatever, 12-0. I don't remember the last time losing a game in Armenia. So I said, I don't plan to anytime soon. So that was the motto right there. Like, we cannot lose in front of our fans. They put all this time, money, energy, everything into this. So, even people, I don't like to get told what to do. People are grabbing me like, Jay, you better not lose this game. I need you to score 30. I need you to score 30. And I'm like, bro, like, that's not what it's about. Like, just but that's how we are. That's my family was telling me that. Our friends, that's how Armenians are. Like, you better win. So we did feel that pressure going into the game, and they cut it close, and it was a nail biter at the end, but it was just so good. I saw Zach get the rebound at the end. I said, Zach, give it to me, give it to me. He threw it. I didn't care if it was 0 on the clock. I'm dunking this thing in style too. I'm dunking this thing, man.
So you did put up 31, and obviously emotional win, exciting win. But for you, you were on the first iteration of the Armenian national basketball team before they were suspended operations due to financial constraints. What's the vibe? What's the difference in the vibe been like now that it just feels like from afar, just watching it, it seems like a more professionally run operation for me, at least. You guys have a great social media team, and it just seems like it's a well-oiled machine. What was it like before? What are the differences that you see in how the team and the culture has changed over the last 5, 6, 7 years?
One man and one man only is the answer to this. Rex Kalamian. That's it. He's the one who changed the whole culture of this whole thing by making it professional, by bringing in media people, by bringing in doctors, by literally doing everything from A to Z. I mean, that's it right there. He was the formula to making this thing really take off. It wasn't the players. Obviously, us, we have a deal in it, but at the end of the day, it needs to come from the head. And then it trickles down, That's how teams are good. It's the organization, it's the owners, the GMs, all that stuff, the managers, the equipment managers, the people who mop the floors, everything is from A to Z. That's how a good organization and a good federation is built on. And Coach Rex is, how many years does he have in the NBA experience? 25 plus years?
Yeah.
So that's who we're talking about right there. And that's the reason why the culture is changed over the last 5, 6, 7 years.
And you're talking about a guy who's dealt with some of the biggest stars in the game, Kevin Durant. Right now, he's coaching maybe the best player in the league, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. What have you learned from that man? I guess you're a veteran yourself. You've been around the game for a long time. What have you learned from him? Anything specific stands out?
One thing that he was him and Alex Zampier, the coach who coached us just now in this tournament, they kept emphasizing it's bigger than basketball. This is bigger than basketball. We're here to win games, but embrace the opportunity, embrace the journey, embrace like what we're doing right here and what we're building. That was a big key that Rex had in our mind. Say just be thankful for what you're doing here. And that really hit home. That really did hit home for us.
Nice.
And also, as far as Rex goes, he came to Austria to help you guys prepare before during the All-Star break, before he had to go back to the Milwaukee Bucks. What was it like to just have him be present there? I mean, he could have just said, "Oh, I'm just getting rest through All-Star break. I'm not going to come out there." But he showed up there and then flew back. What did that mean to you and the team?
That meant everything. He showed dedication. He showed that he really wants to be a part of this team, and he cares about us. Each and every individual. He's asking, "What do you need? Do you need XYZ? Whatever you need." And his son was there too, Mason. Very big, very helpful.
Okay.
Mason could have flew back with his dad right after right before the Austria game, but he chose to stay and travel with us to Armenia. And he's an extension of Rex. So that was huge. And Rex coming there to kind of give us that little jump, because he could have easily just, like you say, stayed with All-Star break and had Coach Alex come in. And Alex doesn't even know who we are, the Armenian organization, the federation. So Rex came and just kind of put everybody in their place and put everything together and kind of like catapulted us to Armenia.
So Mason is part of the coaching staff as well, or he's
Mason does everything. He does everything.
Very cool. He has a basketball background too, like his father. That's interesting.
Yeah. He's gonna be in the NBA one day. He's gonna be coaching. I can see it. He's gonna be a part of an organization one day. I can definitely see that.
Would love to see that.
Oh, mark my words, he will be. He will be.
Very nice. Well, Andre, I got one more question for you. You did mention a little bit earlier that, these past two FIBA games, you guys were missing two of your big men, missing some of the younger players. Obviously, some are still in high school or college. But
Yeah.
looking
Three
forward, you
big
guys
men.
are
Yeah,
playing.
Ryan.
Yeah, so even more depth to be added. Essentially, you guys are looking forward to the international friendly games in LA this coming June. That's the next batch of games for Armenia. Just tell me what you're looking forward to most, especially since you guys did already play in LA last year against France twice, and there was a big
Yep.
show and a big outing for that. Just what you're looking forward to most for that batch of games, but also when it comes to the team, seeing the team kind of come together and seeing a more complete Armenian basketball team.
That's big because we're growing the sport. We're growing Armenia basketball. That's really what it's about, is growing and getting recognized and having more eyeballs. Having it in LA is great. Having it in Armenia is great. And what we did in France, like more people, more kids are getting into basketball. And now they see, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. I want to be a part of the national team one day. I want to, and it's possible. We're here. You can reach us. You can touch us. We're not just in Armenia or just in LA. We're in both now. And it's very good so we can get that team chemistry. I mean, you can see Austria. They were on a string. I mean, the guy can close his eyes and he knows where his man is going to be. They were just like on a string. And us, I played with Chris one tournament. Zara's never played with Chris. I mean, all these guys, the whole Armenian team, I probably knew about 4 guys. Right?
Wow.
Zach, Zara, Chris, like actually
Albert.
played with Albert.
Wow, that's
And that's
interesting. Speaking of
and everyone
Zare,
else was
what was it like to have Zare around there? He's kind of a veteran presence. He's been around for a while now, and what's it like to have him around the team?
oh man, it's great. It's great. He's definitely a good vibe, man. I love that dinosaur. I can't believe he came out from his 9 to 5 and was locking up pros. Like, all credit to Z, man. Like, he's a beast for real. Like, I said, Z, you were the captain of the 2016 team, and you came out of retirement just to he was locking up people in the Czech Republic scrimmage.
Wow.
Talking about, I work a 9 to 5 and I'm locking you up. I work a 9 to 5 and I'm locking you up. Like, that's what we needed. He was like our Draymond Green. He was like our just our bruiser. You know what I mean? Talking to the refs, like telling the refs, hey, I coach college basketball. I ref high school basketball. That is not the right call. And these refs are looking at me like, can you tell him the shot? I'm like, man, that's Z right there. Hey, that's Z right there. So to see him really come out and do what he did, flying from the Bahamas all the way to Austria, fresh off the flight, getting in practice, you know what I mean? Like, and what does he play basketball? Once a week, if that. And he was starting for us.
That's
The
pretty.
Bahamas.
I was very surprised to see him on the court, but I mean, he got significant minutes and he was an impact.
He's a starter.
Yeah. Does he plan on continuing to play in the other games in November and beyond?
I mean, if he told me, if when duty calls, when your country calls, you got to show up. You know what I mean? Hopefully we don't need to call him. That's the thing. We're supposed to have Ryan. We're supposed to have Arkady. We're supposed to have Davi. I mean, damn, if we're calling somebody from their 9 to 5 to come and start for us, that's a problem. Yeah. That is a problem.
And you still won
God bless.
So that's
and we still won a game. God bless him. God bless you. He's a beast for that. But that is a problem if we are calling somebody from their 9 who does not play to come and play against professionals. So,
speaking of 9 to 5s, you recently got your real estate certification in California.
Yes, sir.
On that, was this something you're thinking about, like post-career, or have you kind of because you're playing in Argentina right now too? So I don't know. Are you selling homes while you're in Argentina? What's going on with that?
I'm partnered with somebody right now, and I plan to make my money here and invest in real estate and talk to family and friends. Whoever needs a house, they know who to contact. They know who to contact me. And yeah, I'm working while I'm here.
Wow. Okay.
Definitely,
I didn't know
definitely.
that.
Always, always,
I thought
always working.
this was something more that, okay, after my career, I'm going to dive 100% into it. But right now, you're still focusing on your career. But you're balancing both of them. How was that like?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, my mom always told me growing up, you want to have multiple streams of income. So you know what I mean? I got basketball and I got real estate, and there's other things that I'm working on too as well. So I'm just trying to be, just versatile, versatile with it and have multiple streams of income. And I know real estate's a great business. I know there's a lot of money in it. I know it can be lucrative, especially if you do it the right way. So, any money that I make playing ball, I plan to dump that into real estate and to grow my money that way.
Well, your mother's a wise woman for saying that, and obviously she's raised an amazing son, and that's really so. She and your family were out there in Armenia to see you for the game, correct?
Yeah, everybody. Yes, everybody. Yep. I even we had a dinner. I took the Coach Alex Ampere, took him to my family's house,
It's awesome.
and I mean, yeah, and they treated him well. We ate very well, and we had a very good time. Stories, people playing the piano, just a very good vibe, very good energy.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it
really
was
very
amazing.
special.
It
Well,
was amazing.
unfortunately, Andre, Zoom is telling me that this thing is going to shut off soon. So this has been great. I can go on for another half hour, but we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. Um, Jason, is there anything else that you would like to ask before we let Andre go?
I mean, we can ask some rapid fire questions before
We
we
could ask
get
some
out of
rapid
here.
fire. Would you be
I mean,
down for some
Andre,
quick
let's
rapid
let's
fire?
let's jump right into
Yeah,
it.
let's
Yeah.
do it.
I mean, what is your
Yeah,
cheat meal, Andre?
my cheat meal.
Yeah.
I- I don't have a strict diet. I eat whatever. I eat candy. Before the games, like this is bad. That I'm even saying this. Before the games, I eat McDonald's because it's like sleep or go get something to eat. You know what I mean? So I choose sleep, and then I wake up and it's right on my way to the game, and I eat McDonald's, and I'll get some
Wow.
fries and a burger, some nuggets, and walk right into the game.
Hey,
Yeah,
maybe there's
and
a potential sponsorship opportunity there for you, McDonald's and
right,
McDonald's
right,
and Dre. So
whatever
what
I
current
can.
NBA player would
I
you
eat
love to play
everything.
alongside one day?
Play alongside. Current NBA player, LeBron James.
He is current
I think
NBA
I
player.
think
He's still playing. So
I
yeah.
think yeah. I think our games complement each other.
Hmm.
Who would you say, Andre, has the most riz on the Armenian basketball team?
Riz. I heard that word the other day, and they're explaining what does that mean.
It's a
What
Gen Z
am I
thing.
really?
It's short for charisma.
Am I that old?
I mean, I'm older than you, and I know what Riz is, so you should know Riz.
Riz. What is it like? Swag? Is that the new
Yeah, no,
swag?
it's short for charisma. Charisma.
Charisma.
Can you pick up girls, basically?
Oh, who has the most Riz on the team? Damn. I honestly, I don't even know.
Oof.
All right. So next question is rapid fire.
I
So
don't even.
which Armenian hooper would you say we should keep an eye on? Coming up the ranks.
I would say Tigran, who I just played with. He was one of the young guys who was number three. Number
Okay.
three. He's 18 years old. He played a big part in Armenia. He hit the three. He hit a three in the Albania game. He was very, very key. He's going to be big time. Him and Anto Balian.
Oh yes, of
Those
course.
two guys right there. That's who come to mind first for me.
I got one more quick fire question for you. Who on the team would you trust to be on a deserted island with?
Chris Jones.
That's a quick
That's a
answer.
point guard. Yeah, that's my point guard right there. I know he's always on a swivel. He's always here. He's always level-headed. He's always calm. It seems like he always knows what to do. So I'll just follow Chris's lead, honestly.
It's fantastic. I love that. Thank you, Andre, for the time. This has been amazing, and we've done this with you 2 or 3 times, and I feel like this time with just seeing the growth and development of the Armenian national team from our first interview together to now is just it's been pretty incredible, and I can't wait to see where this continues to go.
Thank you, guys. And I also want to give you guys your flowers, like you just said, how we've been growing, and you guys have been growing too. I've seen you guys start from the bottom and work your way all the way to the top to where you guys are now, and now you guys are working together, and I think that's just awesome. And you guys are really helping grow not just basketball, every sport, every Armenian sport, every Armenian news article. Jason, Andre with the sports, Jason, you with just all your world views, you know what I mean? Like, you really do. People send me your stuff all the time, and I send your stuff to people all the time. So I just want to give you guys your flowers for really like elevating Armenia just worldwide.
Wow.
Sports, everything, media.
Really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
It really means a lot. Thank you so much, Andre.
You guys are doing good.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I started this 3 years ago, and it's a passion project, and now it's kind of like a part-time job now. So it's hopefully keeps growing, and I love to see people learning about Armenian athletes, and there's a lot of Armenian athletes that needed lights shined on them. So that was the purpose of starting this page, and that's still the purpose, to make people aware of Armenian athletes, Armenian national teams, and things of that nature. So I really appreciate those kind words. Really appreciate you coming on, and can't wait to have you on very soon. Hopefully we get through to the next stage of the qualifiers.
All right, Jason. Great conversation with Andre, and I want to kick myself because I don't know why I haven't yet upgraded my Zoom to premium so that it doesn't cut me off after a 30-minute interview. I could have gone another 30 minutes with Andre, but
me too.
It is what it is. He was what a great character, what a great personality especially for the Armenian national team.
Absolutely. I mean, he's looked at like the legend, the veteran, right? And his identity, his personality, his emotions, everything he puts into the game is contagious, and you can kind of see that, especially whenever they were celebrating that Albania win, just how everyone kind of galvanized together with the fans and everyone going crazy for Dre.
Yeah, and you look at even the end of the second quarter when he hit that three and ran off the court. It's just an iconic moment. I think decades from now, I think Armenian national basketball team is going to keep growing, and you're going to look back at this era of this is the foundation. These are the people who started it all. And it was pretty cool to see. And one of the things that resonated with me from the interview was I did ask him about, 6-7 years ago and how different it is compared to now. And he immediately said the reason for that was Rex Kalamian. And yeah, he's brought an NBA style mentality to this, call it what you want to call it, third world country, whatever. But he's making this a well-run operation, a well-run professional organization, federation, and you're seeing the results of that, and you're going to continue to see that. Like he said, it starts from the top, and then the ripple effect goes all the way to the bottom. So it's going to be really exciting to see that going forward.
Absolutely. And, Andre also touched on the fact that the youth of Armenian basketball is rising, and it's rising pretty quick. I mean, we were talking about some of the guys that weren't there for those FIBA games. He was mentioning just how much depth they didn't have, how much size they didn't have. And on top of that, there's a lot of young guys who either are just in high school or college that this team would benefit from. And that's something that really stuck out to me too, that, he is, looking forward to the future. He knows that there's still time. He knows that moving forward, there's going to be a change up with these guys, because he only knew about 4 guys or 5 guys on the squads that went through Austria.
Yeah, that was interesting when he said that. And also the women's side as well. You're getting girls like Leah Karumian, who's in high school and dominating the California high school scene. She'll probably go play college somewhere, and she's already on the women's national team. It's just basketball is a growing sport in Armenia. Obviously, it's always been Armenia has always been a nation where they've thrived in individual sports like weightlifting and boxing and wrestling, and now you're seeing that in a team sport like basketball on both men's and women's side. Obviously, the soccer team is well established, and they've had their ups and downs. but it's an exciting time. It's definitely an exciting time. And Jason, yeah. So this was a great first episode, and we hope you guys enjoyed the show, and obviously subscribe to the YouTube page, Armenian Sports News. Follow us on Instagram, Armenian Sports News, and join us next time on the Armenian Sports News Podcast.
Take care, everyone.